I think when I joined, there was about 20 to 25 agents in one singular office in Waltham, and he envisioned much bigger and better things. And he also talked a lot about quality of life with agents. This isn't an easy career path. And I realized that some of the same desires he had were exactly what I'd been looking for.
I'd say from a real estate brokerage perspective, '07 was the beginning of me saying, we can really do something here. This is interesting. The responsiveness from the consumers. I was even impressed with the Realtors. By 2014, I was like, all right, enough of us trying to serve Worcester business from afar, enough of trying to refer certain business out to Realtors at other companies. We need to hire people. We need to get our own people. And I was fortunate enough to score a really good agent first, and a really good person, more so than anything else, first, and that was Michelle Wesson.
One of the kindest people you'll ever meet, and I look at her as really the start of that office, and there's no question that, people follow people that they like and they want to be around, and the reason that Worcester has grown to what it has grown to is, there's no question, it's because of Michelle being the start of that office.
Fall of 14, she connected me with Genevieve. Genevieve came in for a meeting, and when I met her, I immediately knew that she would be a good fit with us. She knows the business well. She knows how to price property. She has a lot of talent. She's very personable, very likable, and that was Genevieve.
The concept that he had was different even back then from what was a typical real estate company. It was more of a team kind of concept, and I liked everything they had to offer that was different from what I didn't like from the previous companies in the real estate world that I had worked for. I left the meeting and decided that day that I was getting back into real estate.
We just started bringing on some really quality people. Most of them are still with us now. So it's been great, and it's been quite an experience watching the growth.
So when it comes to opening in new markets, each department has certain things that they know that they have to do, like marketing. They're sending out postcards. They're putting up new billboards. Our operations team, they're making sure everything's set up in MLS and the agents' listings are getting transferred over. So everybody has a certain play when it comes to opening up in new markets. And, we learned that from how we train our agents, how we train them to work with clients. And we learned that from how we train our business development team to prospect new clients. So it sort of plays into opening up in new markets.
Then things started to snowball. We got to the point that we were producing more leads than we had agents to keep up. And we got lucky with more great people. All of a sudden we had 6 really solid people that were very likable, charismatic, knew a lot of people, followed training. I mean, Millen, this guy used to show up at training at 6 in the morning, okay, for a 10 a.m. training. In those days, I would go in the office at 5 in the morning, work for a couple hours, and then I'd be leaving. He'd be in the parking lot. Hi, Anthony, good morning. And I'm like, who is this guy? Hey, John, what's going on? Oh, I'm here for training. We're like, well, John, it's 6:45. Training starts at 10. I know, I wanted to beat the traffic. I'm going to go grab some breakfast. I remember getting in my car thinking, all right, this guy's nuts, but I like him.
I worked my other job, 50 hours a week. I took every Wednesday off and I drove to Waltham and learned the business. There wasn't much going on with Lamacchia out this way. I had seen him as more of a Boston company, Waltham, that area, but we didn't have much going on out in the Worcester area.
When I first started, we didn't have an office. So it was, just Michelle, Genevieve, and then Deanna, myself, and John joined right around the same time. And we had no office. And I remember it obviously always being a bone of contention that when we would have clients that we needed to meet, we didn't have anywhere to meet them. So we always would rag on Anthony, like, we need some sort of space, whatever it is, because this going to Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks every day is just not working out too well. So he quickly realized, as we started to grow and him realizing that we all were doing a solid business, that we needed a place to meet clients. We knew we could start off with a smaller space, so we were in a high-rise over on Park Ave, which was literally like a 10 by 10 office. I mean, there was no space at all. One person could have a meeting at a time.
It was kind of funny the way that went, because we had this like 2 little rooms. It was kind of embarrassing, but like the thing that's so great about these people is they just followed along. They didn't push back. They weren't snobby. AJ, Deanna, they joined. John, all right, this is our office, and it's literally 2 tiny rooms. I mean, you couldn't breathe heavy without someone hearing you. You couldn't sneeze without infecting the whole room. But they were like, all right, cool.
Funny stories there. I could go on forever, but we were probably in a room and we all just sat together at a table with our computers and we worked.
Within a couple of months, we realized, okay, well, we need a bigger space. Let's see if the landlord has bigger space. So we moved from the 5th floor to the 3rd floor. And funny enough, as we were moving, we brought in even more agents. So it was like every time we got something bigger, we ended up bringing in more people. And as we were growing, we did what we always do in every market. The more the region grows, the more we invest in the region, okay? And it's a 2-way street. So we were growing, and then we say, oh, let's take out a billboard. And then we took out another billboard. And in the beginning, we would take out a billboard for like 90 days in the winter, because that's when more people are looking for a brokerage, right? And then we did it twice a year, and then it just snowballed, and we kept reinvesting in the market.
So our tiny little office, we outgrew quick. We were sitting in a training one day. At that point, I think there was 5 or 6 of us, and we realized we needed more space. So we moved to a different office in the same building. It was a little better, but it wasn't the greatest either. So we decided to start looking for a permanent home in the Worcester area.
So the West Boylston Street office, and I say West Boylston Street for a reason.
So in about the summer of 18, we opened up that office on West Boylston Street. Okay, I got to give John credit for that. He was right. He found it.
Because it was a funny story. We had outgrown the second office on Park Ave, and I took my son around for a few Saturdays in a row because Anthony said, hey, if we're outgrowing it, go find something. So I did exactly that and finally found one. And I pulled it up on MLS. I sent it to Anthony, and he was in DC, I believe. And I got an immediate response, no. And I was like, wow. I mean, he said he loves locations off the highway. He wanted it in a great part of Worcester, and he said no. So what I did was I called up and got a tour of the office. I went in and I'm like, this could be the place. So I sent Anthony a message like 2 days later, and I didn't know him that well back then. So this was I was like, I might be pushing my luck here. But I said, like, Anthony, what's wrong with this property? He says, I told you I want Worcester, not West Boylston. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, if you read it correctly, it's West Boylston Street in Worcester. And he said, oh, okay, get me in there tomorrow. And so from there, he came down. We negotiated for about 6 hours. And that is the story of how we landed the West Boylston Street in Worcester office.
That year, we were #1 independent in Worcester, in the city of Worcester, which was a milestone. It was something we could talk about, and we might have been 5 or 6 overall, but we were #1 independent, and we were clearly gaining ground, and whenever we do that anywhere, we hit the gas even more. And so that's what we did, and we really, as we get into 19, we took out the billboard campaign. We had billboards starting, at that time it was like 1 or 2 billboards. Now we have like 10. But that's how we do it. And we kept applying it there, and we kept pouring it on, and we got involved with the Worcester Realtors as well. That's a community type thing that we were involved in. They're a great hockey team, semi-pro hockey team. And it gave us a chance to get our agents together and advertise in the DCU Center. You go in DCU now, our logos are all over the place. Becoming the real estate company of the Worcester Ice Center. We have Lamacchia Rink there, and our logos are all over the building. And it's been wonderful because people from all over the state that go there for hockey tournaments, they see our logos there, and we just continue to hit the gas, and we continue to bring in great people. I mean, we went from like a 10 or 15 agent office to a 30. And then we went to a 50, and it just kept growing. Then I heard about Megan. I've heard great things, and we need to get someone to work in that office. And I told her the truth. I said, we are planning to absolutely come in and dominate the market. This is only the beginning.
So Megan, I always call her my lifeline, and she is. I don't honestly think I could do my job as well as I do it without her behind my back. She's the girl that, and she'll laugh at this, that I call when I'm driving, even though I have my GPS on, saying, Megan, I can't find this street. So she'll pull up the map. It's kind of an ongoing joke. Take a left, take a right. So literally, she's always there for me for everything. She's a big support advocate of us. And like I said, I mean, I could not do my job on a daily basis without the assistance of her. She's a sweetheart. She's another one that you can pick up the phone and call anytime, and she'll be there to answer, and she will.
The vibe was the agents were more like family. They were more friends. It was a great culture to have joined. They wanted each other to succeed. They weren't out competing against each other. They were working together to grow each of their own businesses.
So back when we started in Worcester, we weren't known yet. Okay, so bringing in those bigger agents, those agents that have larger books of business and are doing a substantial amount of transactions or sales volume, it was harder for us to bring them on because people didn't know the name or trust the name yet. So we really had to start from the ground up, bringing on brand new agents and getting them trained up and utilizing all of our systems and our services and having them achieve really high levels of success. That is when the larger, more producing agents, I should say, they started to take notice that, okay, this person came into the business brand new and now they're doing 30, 40, 50 homes a year. There's something going on over there. And that's when agents say, okay, I want to know more. I want to be a part of that. I want my business to grow like that.
After we added the Worcester office, we started realizing that there was a lot of agents from the outskirts more towards Leominster, Gardner, that were driving and coming towards us. And I think after a little bit of time, Anthony realized how much of a presence we had more in that like northwestern part of Massachusetts. And as we started to grow out there, he realized that there was a need for an office out there too. So we quickly added a Leominster office after Worcester, which is also another huge office that we had, which attracts many agents from out in that area. And then we recently just added Northborough too, which is my hometown. So it's nice to have my hometown on the map, but it's a great town, and our presence continues to grow in this Central Mass region.
So starting from an office of 5 to 10 people to over 100, and then opening up the Leominster office, we're just growing and growing. And the marketing is beyond unbelievable. I mean, I just drove down 290 on Sunday with my husband. I said, look, there's another new billboard. You know, they're just popping up everywhere, and they're new. They're not the same ones all the time. So they're eye catchers for sure.
The difference with our company, and I'd say Worcester is probably our best example of it. When we take marketing dollars from our agents, we apply those marketing dollars to marketing. And some of my competitors, not some, most of them, take marketing dollars off the top and they send them to New Jersey and Texas and Colorado and all these other places. When we take marketing dollars from the commissions from our agents, we not only match them, we do more, and we pour it into marketing. So the marketing that you've seen in Worcester and in Worcester County so far is about half of what we'll be doing a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. I'm very happy to see and very happy to be able to say that in 2022, we were by far the #1 real estate office. Lamacchia Worcester was the #1 real estate office in all of Worcester County. And we were #2 by firm, but we're not that far off. And I think in 2023, we'll take first place. And if we don't, it'll be 24. And when we take first place, then we're going to go next level with the advertising, because I have other plans up here, up my sleeve, that I'm going to pull out and we're going to put into place once that happens.
He's always been one to believe in marketing, you know, and he always spent big on marketing and getting our name out there. And people now, they're just like, Lamacchia Realty is the best, you know. It's funny because I don't hear that many, or I don't know if I've ever heard like a bad experience. When you're wearing a name brand on you, you're going to expect, whether it's good or bad, somebody's going to, you know, pipe up if they've had an experience with Lamacchia. And everyone's like, Lamacchia, you know, who and so that works there, and tell her I said hi, and you know,
people don't understand the power of marketing and what it does. and the name brand just became, everyone knew it within, very short time, which was, again, a credit to, Anthony's vision and the marketing team stepping it up and going all in with what we had going on there.
The other thing that we got involved with locally was the Woo Sox. When I heard that the semi-pro, or I should say minor league team of the Red Sox, which was the Paw Sox at that time in Providence, Rhode Island, was moving to Worcester, within a week of me hearing that, I was on the phone.
Anthony was branding the company quite widely around Worcester County. Billboards you could be seen all over the highways, all over traveling throughout Worcester. He also was sponsoring the Railers and the Woo Sox. So the agents were thrilled that not only was Anthony investing in them and their training and their business, but he was making awareness for the office and the company, which not only helped him, but really helped the agents too, because everywhere you look, you see a sign for Lamacchia Realty.
And anytime we go into a market, as I said, the more we do, the more agents we bring on, the more we're able to invest because we have more dollars to invest. Not every market's like Worcester. I mean, Worcester is a major city. It's the second largest city in New England, as I mentioned. So there's a lot of sponsorship opportunities.
Your success and the amount that you do is 100% a direct reflection of who is helping you and who you're working with. And without the back end support, I couldn't do what I do.
We're there to do nothing other than take the place over, serve the community, and make sure we do a great job by not only our clients, but our realtors for decades to come.